Tell me your name and what do you do?
It's Moudi Tajjour, and I run a trucking company. I was born in the western suburbs, Marylands, but I grew up around King's Cross.
And what was life like for you growing up in Marylands and King's Cross?
It was easy. I come from a big family, so my cousins were the Ibrahims. So growing up here was fucking easy street. How could I put it? Born into a crime family, so to speak.
What was your family like and how was your relationship with them?
I left home when I was about 12 and I just grew up on the streets. I joined the motorcycle club when I was just under 15. I've been in the streets my whole life. Between the streets and prison, it's been my life.
How did you fall to the streets?
I was born into a crime family, so there's no choice. Simple. My mum's got a sister, right? Her kids are the Ibrahims. My mum brought John and Sam from Lebanon here before their mum came over here. So Sam and John lived with us when we were kids. We were living in housing commissions. I got to a certain age, maybe 12. My cousin was already full-blown gangster, had moved out of my mum's, coming in Ferraris, Lamborghinis. From a young age, I just knew I don't want to be these fucking in these houses. People look down at you. You know, when I used to go to school, I didn't get invited to parties, other kids' parties and that, because we're the house kids. So I always wanted to make money, and then I went from having no money living in the houses to having enough money to buy anything I want. Anything. I want a $500,000 watch, I could buy it. I want a Rolls Royce, I can buy it. I want to travel to, I went to Singapore, opened tattoo shops there because I just wanted to see what it feels like. Literally flew to Singapore, bought 2 tattoo shops. Do you understand? When I was growing up, we had no money to eat. So, like, I've experienced the lowest of the barrel to the highest of the barrel. Do you know what I mean? And that's just fucking the way the cookie crumbles, mate.
And what's your relationship like with your family now? Like your parents, your cousins, your brothers?
I don't see my cousins anymore. There's no drama between us, but we don't share a coffee every day, that's for sure. They do their thing, I've got nothing to do with them. There's no drama. If I see them, shake their hand, give them a hug. If I heard something happen to them, I'd be upset, but we don't see each other no more. Do you know what I mean? We're all grown men now. They're not going to take my shit and I'm not going to take their shit. It's different when you're a kid growing up underneath someone's flag, them telling you what to do, answering to people, to becoming your own man and thinking, hang on a sec. Fuck, I'm not answering no cunt. You run your fucking ship, I'll run my ship. That's how it is. I see my mum every day. I see my dad every day. My brother's living his own life. My sister's all married with kids. So I'm really alone always. It's just me and my son. You know, I like to travel a bit. But that's why I sit on social media, right? I get on TikTok and I talk to 30 to 40 different people every day. FaceTimes. That's my engagement with people, so I don't lose my fucking mind. And from that, it turned into a business. So I used to go on TikTok and go live with people in order to talk to people because I don't want to invite people over. I get invitations every day, messages on my social media. Come to this party, come to that party, come to this boat cruise. Not interested. So how do I feel that loneliness in my heart? I get on TikTok and as soon as I'm on, everyone comes to talk to me. And from that, I end up generating hundreds of thousands of dollars a month from gifts. People gift me. They like the way I talk. They like to watch me. And I like talking to people, you know what I mean? Like even you guys coming here was daunting for me. But because my good mate invited you people, I agreed to meet you guys. Do you know what I mean? It was no disrespect to you, it's not being critical. I just don't like meeting people. I've become like a loner. You know what I mean? I don't even have a missus because I don't want to be around that. The only person that's still in my life is my son because he's my flesh and blood. I don't hang out with no one. Like, even sitting with you guys, I don't feel comfortable. It's weird. You're a gentleman. You're a nice guy. You're respectful. You're offside as a good guy. I just don't like engaging with people. I did this for a favor for a friend. You know, I grew up with the person that introduced me to you. That's a perfect example. All right, I'm not going to say his name, but as you know, he's from a different gang. And me and him have striken up a friendship. And he's an active member right now in a particular gang. And I trust him, yeah. Like, I don't have many friends, but yeah, he's a friend of mine. And that's why I sat with you guys. Other than that, I wouldn't sit with you. And it's nothing against you guys. It's just, I've lost my communication skills. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I get anxious talking to people and sitting. But I can sit on the camera and talk to everyone on TikTok. Confident to everybody in person. I do get suspicious. Automatically, I look at you and I look at him and I think, guard's always up. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. It's a weird feeling. Like, you guys come in here thinking, yeah, you're meeting a guy from social media. You guys, to me, come in and you could have a fucking gun in your bag. You know what I mean? This could be a ploy. That's why I'm standoffish. Do you know what I mean?
So how did you end up joining the Nomads at such a young age, and what was that experience like for you?
My cousin was the boss. My cousin Sam, who Australia knows him as Sam Ibrahim. He was the king of the cross. And he was the leader of the Nomads. And I just joined the family ranks. We're a family, so that's how it panned out. There was no ifs or buts. There was no choice. There was no let's be a lawyer. It was gangster from the moment I could walk. I knew how to clock a gun back, pull the clip back out at the age of fucking, maybe I was 9 or 10. I'd watch my cousin, I'd learn how to pull the clip out, clock it back. I always knew to put gloves on when I grab a fucking pistol. Watching my cousins. When I was a kid, you know, I would have been about 10. So before the Nomads, I was a Scorpion. And then when the Scorpions went to the Nomads. And then when I was in prison, I opened up a gang called Notorious. See that? I'd show you my waist, but I haven't been training. I feel fat. Oh, I'll show you this fucking. Even though I feel like a fat cunt. Oh shit. That's a prison gang. Oh. You got me at the wrong stage in my life. I'm not training. I feel like a fat cunt. I'm training 2 years. So, yeah. Ended up opening up Notorious. It was a prison gang for about 6 years inside the prison walls. And then when I got out of jail, my brother had went back to the Nomads and he told me come back to the Nomads. So then I left Notorious and I went back to the Nomads. I was with them up until I think 2019 I left, or 2018. I can't recall the times. Mate, my life's been a roller coaster, so I don't know. But I've been out of the gang life for about a good over 3 years now, I'd say, give and take. And I still get judged as if I'm a bikie. I'll tell you an example. Other month, I was laying in bed, 5 o'clock in the morning. The raptor kicked my door down, got me out of bed because a nomad threatened police. And I said, what the fuck has that got to do with me? And they still label me a nomad, even though I've left that life long behind me. I've been working. I go to work every day. And if I'm not working, I'm on social media. I've got a big social media presence. So if you're talking about being judged, I'm still being judged.
When was the first time you went to prison, and what was life like for you after going there?
First time I went to prison, I would have been the age of 16. A person in Bondi made up a lot of lies about me, and I got charged with 7 kidnappings, 4 home invasions. But it was all lies. I never committed those crimes, and I was put into Carry On Juvenile Centre, and then I ended up getting bail for 1.2 million down the track. Yeah. And then, yeah, end up proving I'm innocent. And just went back to the crew.
What was the experience like for you going into prison?
Australia is a very soft country. So prison to me and prison to you is two different things. I used to think prison was like America, so I was anticipating a very dangerous place. When I walked in there and seen it's like a fucking Boy Scout. Prison's pussy jail in Australia. I've done time in New South Wales, and I've done time in Adelaide. I've done time in Thailand. And Australian jails, pussies. Not the criminals, not the crims, the prison system, management and all that. It's just jail softy, mate.
You've faced a lot of adversity throughout your life. How do you overcome it?
You see, being an Arab in this country, you're going to be judged from the moment you fucking say hello. So I don't really know what the word advert, whatever that word is, means, but if you're trying to say hard life or something, yeah?
Yep.
Is that what it means?
Definitely, yeah.
Well, I grew up in the housing commissions and fucking just went onto the streets. And ever since I was a kid, we're always labelled the Arabs or fucking the houser kids. So we've been jumping over hurdles since we're kids.
What was life like growing up in the housing commission of Maryland? Is that where it was? What was life like for that?
It was good. It's fucking great. I met so many criminals in my area. Yeah. Growing up around other crims. So when you grow up on the streets, life's pretty easy in the sense if you want to be a thug. Because the whole area is in jail. So you're not scared to go to prison. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure a weak cunt from Bondi, we're petrified to go to jail. But a kid from the suburbs, who all his friends and cousins are in jail, what's he going to be scared of?
Why did you decide to leave the gang life?
When you lose trust in people and you're living in a dangerous world, you have no choice but to leave when you feel that if I stay in this environment, I'm going to be murdered. I just felt that there was no love there anymore on that end, and there was no love from my end. So I just didn't want to be in that life no more. You got to understand, I'm 38. I joined the streets when I was 11, running around the streets. Joined the Scorpions at a young age. By a certain age, I was a bikie. I remember year 9 fucking, it was either year 9 or year 10, they were having their formal, and I rode up to get food for the boys. I was a nom for the Nomads, and I see my mates having their formal. Their fucking year 10 formal, I think it was. Granville, at White Palace. I'll never forget the place. So yeah, you sort of get the drift of the life I've had.
To you, what was the hardest part about being a nomad?
There was no hard parts about being a nomad. It was fucking easy. The hardest thing was leaving the Nomads because, for example, right, I've got no friends anymore. When I left that life, I left all my friends, and trying to make friends outside of a criminal world. Not saying Nomads were criminals. Don't get me twisted. When I say criminal world, when I was a bikie, the only people I used to go and associate with were criminals who weren't Nomads. It's funny is that because you're a bikie, you attract criminals. So being a nomad, they're not criminals. But I was surrounding myself with criminals because I had that vest on. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I left, like right now, for example, I'm 38 years old. The only people I associate with are my business partners. I've got no friends. It's sad, but it's the reality of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could easily pick up the phone and call old friends of mine, acquaintances, and go to dinner. But next minute, I'm back in that life and neck deep in fucking the dangers of these streets. So I'd rather be alone than to be tempted to fall back into a gangster. And keep in mind, I was a national president. I wasn't no small weight. I was as high as the food chain you could be. So when I left, and now it's hard to make friends outside of gangster's life because I don't trust anyone. I've got nothing in common with most of the normal people. I still desire to put a set of colours on. I just don't desire the friendships that come with it. So if you ask me the question, what was the hardest thing about being a nomad, it was leaving the nomads. It was the hardest thing. Being a nomad was the best thing in the world. Fucking leaving them was hard.
And your brother's still doing time at the moment?
No, he's been recently released from jail. And he's working. He's got trucks as well. Raising his kids, and he's not a part of that life. He's just doing his own thing. He doesn't associate with no one.
And you recently had a child yourself. How did having a child change your life?
The only thing that scares me now is to die and leave him. All he has is me. So if I die tomorrow, that boy's got no one. So even though I'm not with his mum anymore, but his mum's still my best friend. But my son is the most important thing in my life. And the only person I love in this whole wide world is my son and my brother. Obviously my parents, with that being said, but we're talking specifics about what's the dearest thing to my heart. He's my brother and my son. I love them both equally.
Did you think that you'd become like a social media superstar after leaving the Nomads?
No, that happened by mistake. I tell you, I'll make more money on social media than drug dealers make on the street. It's funny, eh? These people go risk their lives and go to war with each other over drug battles. And I simply pick up a phone and speak into it and pull. If I told you the figure, you'd trip, mate.
You became the president of the bikie club, and then you've become, the TikTok superstar. Do you think whatever you do, you can always become the best version of yourself?
I'll tell you, I'll break it down to you. Anything I do in life, I'm going to be the best at it. And I don't give a fuck what anyone's got to say or anyone. When I was in the motorcycle club, at the age of 19, I was the president of a chapter. I ended up going on to be the leader. Anything I do in my life, I'm not even sitting here talking it up. Anything I do in my life, touch wood, I find success in it. Because I believe Almighty God has written for you what you're going to get. Whether you're a gangster, on the street, whatever you're doing in life, wherever you're standing is where God wants you. And I believe God has given me a lot of favors in this life. That's what I believe.
Where to from here for you?
Just want to be living. And just stay away from these fucking streets, mate. These streets have got nothing but fucking misery in them. All these generations that are growing up right now on the streets think it's cool to be a gangster, this, that. They're going to know, mate. They're going to know the hard way. These fucking... Look at these kids at the Easter show. 16 years old, 17 years old, got murdered the other week. That's the life. That's the world we're living in right now. You kiss your kid goodbye to go to the Easter show. That kid went to work at the Easter show. On his lunch break, ends up getting into altercation and getting murdered. You tell me the streets were, if that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, where I want to be 5-10 years from now is raising my son away from these fucking streets. That's the only thing I've got concern for in my life. Is my boy.
You've got a lot of people that look up to you, a lot of young people as well, I'm sure. A lot of those young people could be part of that street life. What would you say to them if you could speak to them?
Look at me, 38 years old. Every friendship I ever built up was destroyed when I left the club. You're going to build friendships and everything. You're going to end up in two places. Dead or in jail. Or like me, sitting on a couch alone with no one around you. So really 3 places. Dead, jail, or alone in the free world. You know what I mean?
You've been through a lot in life. What would you say is your biggest life lesson?
Fuck. There's so many things I could say to that. But to sum it up, my biggest fucking lesson in life is you can't trust the person sitting next to you. Because that's the person who puts a blade in your neck. That's my biggest lesson in these streets.
You would have had to have a lot of responsibility being a president of the Nomads,
National president.
national president. How were you able to look after those responsibilities from, going into the street life to becoming the president? Like, was it a hard thing for you to have those type of responsibilities?
No. Because I always lived my life, it was like this. Follow my lead, you get out of line, I'll smash your fucking head open. You want to run with me? You do what I say. You act the way I tell you to act. You back down to anyone, I'll crush you. You rob from your brothers, I'll crush you. You fuck your brother's missus, I'll crush you. Live with morals and run with me, you'll be sweet. I've always lived my life like that. Whether I was a national or just running a fucking normal crew. Always had that mentality, you know what I mean? You look out for each other, you make money together, and you enjoy life.
Why do you wear sunglasses at night in an interview?
I'll tell you, I've got a TikTok page called Can't Fight Fate 14. And I'm not even joking. I'm the king of TikTok. Even Google it. They wrote an article about it. I come #1 in Australia numerous times every week. And I started wearing glasses because I don't like talking to strangers. If I don't know you, I don't want to look you in the eye. So I started wearing glasses for that reason. And from there now, I can't go in front of a camera without glasses on. It's just become, it's odd. I don't know. I can't go in front of a camera without sunglasses. So it's not a fashion thing. Nah, it's got nothing to do with that. It's just my comfort.
It's your character.
It's my character.
Yeah. Do you think you're a different person to what you were, when you were president of Nomads? Or do you have different morals, or do you think the morals are still the same?
I'm the exact same person I always was. I just realised now, you can't live like that. I've learned to contain the monster that lives inside me. But he always exists. It's just going to take something to fucking bring. No one ever changes. Whoever tells you they change completely is a fucking liar. I'll tell you why. How can you take your character and your well-being and change it? You can hide it. You can't change it, my friend. So the monster always lives inside me. For example, if you two right now fucked around with me, it will take that certain thing for me to go wild on yous and absolutely crush both of yous, in due respect when I say this. The reason I don't, because I've learned to contain my anger. But I'm still the same person I always was. A violent man who just learns now to contain it. Do you know what I mean? Whoever tells you they can change is a fucking liar.
How did you learn how to contain it?
Yeah. Life lessons, my friend.
Can you share with me those life lessons?
Perfect example. See my hand there has, if you can see, I had 6.5 hours surgery on my hand. One day I was so angry, right? I learned to control my anger even when I was a leader of a club. I had an ashtray in my hand one day and I was sitting on the bench and a member was on the other side. And he pissed me off so hard, I cracked the ashtray in my hand and almost died, split my artery open, ended up doing 7-hour surgery. So I learned I need to contain my anger or it's going to fucking literally kill me. So my 7-hour operation, I was in my hospital bed for a week and it was all from I literally cracked the ashtray in my hand. I got the scar there, I'm not lying, microsurgery. So I just realised I need to calm the fuck down because I'm going to hurt no one but myself.
You've pretty much accomplished a lot of things in your life already. Is there anything else you want to accomplish in your life?
Yeah. I want to be able to walk in the street and not be judged by this fucking government. That's what I want to accomplish. I've been working for fucking over 3 years now, 6 days a week, and I'm still able to fucking thug. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want. Just to be normal and not judged.